Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the SBP. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. I'm your boy Prime Source. What's good?
Back. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Way back. What
How
up,
you feel?
Prime? I'm
All
doing
good,
good.
man. All
Yeah.
good. Another morning, man. Another morning, another day. Plenty of sports on the television today, mainly college basketball. And for those, I guess, few people that may be in the group that actually follow college baseball or softball, there's a couple of games on as well. So plenty to watch, plenty to watch. The
Plenty to
TV
watch.
screens and the tablets will be up and running today. How you feeling?
That's all right. That's all right. I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Other than my picks, like I told you, my picks is looking real crazy right now, men's and women's. Um, and my MGM account getting tapped out. Messing around with the Ivy League, they out here tricking up all the church's money.
Now, why you want to go and do that? Huh? Why you want to go and do that? Not the Ivy League joints, bro.
Yeah, man, I thought I had something. I was like, oh man, Harmony Turner gonna light these people up. But yeah, man, yeah, that bet that was gonna be 5 for 78 turned into 0 for 0.
Wow.
It's a lot of luck.
So just no luck. Just no luck. I didn't even press my luck, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you noticed in any of these or anything. Like I'm talking not just FanDuel. I'm just talking about brackets and any of this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do a men's bracket at all. Well, I take that back. Let me tell you how bad this is. I didn't realize that I did do one men's bracket. It
Oh
wasn't in
yeah.
the SBP because I am watching the games and I'm enjoying some of the games. Don't get it twisted, but I'm not I'm not inspired, man. It's just kind of dry. The one that I did get into, shout out to our guy Didge, his I think it's his podcast group, his one of his podcast groups ran a joint and he put in there for Joel and I was like, yeah, if y'all want to get in, we running a joint, twice. So I was like, you know what the heck? So I
Right.
went on and I just jumped in there and threw some stuff in, but I did that before I did anything else to the point until like right about now, I forgot I even did. I don't even know how I'm doing in that joint. I need to go back and check, you know. And I shout out to Didge and them, what I'm saying, for the invite, but it's just hard for me, man, with the men's joint right now. It's just really hard, man. And I
Yeah.
know with some folks in our group that disagree. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion about how they feel about the men's games and the women's games and how excited they are. That's perfectly fine. But what I don't think is, we talked about before, that it's a secret that there's a lot of people that feel the way that we do compared to other years when it's come to the men's game and this college basketball thing.
I ain't gonna lie, it's been plenty of years. I ain't gonna lie. It's been plenty of years that the women have been more entertaining than the men for me, especially in the last 10 to 15, the women's game. Because women, I mean, okay, if you go back probably 5 to 7 years and before, it was a lot of, we might as well wait till the Sweet 16 because the rest of these jumps going to be blowouts. Because it was just like that. There was not a lot of upsets in women's basketball because there are a lot less great women players.
Indeed.
And they all were going to the same schools a lot of times. So you'd have limited good teams, and the good teams were often great, but it'd be a limited amount. So once you got to the Sweet 16, then it got real. But this year and last year, and maybe the year before that, and maybe probably a couple more years than that, it's been a couple upsets here and there, and now it's just straight competitive all across the board. That's just what it is. Outside of the 1 through 16, which is the case in any bracket, pretty much.
You want to know? I came to the realization. You want to know when it's really bad in the men's game right now. And again, some of
Mm-hmm.
those games have been entertaining. I don't get it twisted.
Right.
But we just had Patino and Calipari
Yeah.
play each other. Where was the hype? Like, I'm not. ESPN ran it. I saw Fox Sports ran it. Like they talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in previous years, no matter, how either one of these coaches were doing today, as far as their teams, this would have like blown out of the water. Like,
Right.
yo, man, you got the matchup with Tino and Calipari, man. You got y'all here, St. John's and Arkansas going at it. And it kind of just slipped past some people.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of slipped past some people. It ended up being, it was a pretty good game, actually. Calipari and Arkansas came out with the actual upset.
Yeah.
St. John's, which I believe was a 2 seed. So it actually ended up, it's a great story, but it's just the hype wasn't there. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely agree with that. Maybe it's because Calipari was at or is at Arkansas. Arkansas was my squad in the 90s, please understand. But maybe it's because he's at Arkansas now. And I don't know. The college game, it's lost some luster on the men's side. It has. I don't think it has anything to do with the women's game, growing and getting better. But it's just the college game. For me, I said this for a minute. It's so much movement, and the one and dones often make it boring. You barely get to know somebody before they're gone, and they're going to the pros, but they're going to a different team. Like, you barely get to know a player, a squad, before that player is gone. That's why a lot of these times we've seen over the years that those mid-majors where people tend to stay longer and stay as a group, compete on a high level, end up with the upsets and Elite Eight finishes, Final Four, and all that.
Yeah, man, it's somebody made a great point in the SBP, was talking about not just the whole the NIL deal, just everything. Like, these guys, you think about it, these guys come in, you can't really follow a team the way you want to, because you don't know if your favorite player or players are going to be there the next season.
Yeah.
And then when they get to their new teams, those people might play together for 20 games, 25 games. And then it's too much, man. It's too much. Liddy, good morning. What's going on, brother?
Liddy.
Chris Carter, I like off the bat. What's going on, big bros? I agree with y'all. The women's tournament has been more better watching than the men's tournament. That's just my feel, bro. That's just my feel. Glad you feel that way. Sources got it, feeling about it. He's in the same boat. That's just how we feel. I remember a couple of guys. I think it was Thomas Kavanaugh in the group, and he was just like, he disagreed. It's fine to disagree. I mean, if it's matchups you're looking for in the men's game, I get it. We know Thomas. First of all, we know that you're not a women's fan as it is. We definitely know you ain't no Angel Reese fan. You've established that well, okay. But you're not a women's fan, and you made your point. Nothing's really getting you hype unless it's got something to do with Juju Watkins. Okay, that's cool. A lot of people feel that way, right? And I'm not discounting his opinion on how he feels about, he disagrees with me about the matchups, because we're going to get to some good matchups in the men's game eventually. There's going to be some names that you're used to hearing, but how many of y'all people really out there outside of those names really paid attention to these teams all year or the last 2 years? For instance, today we've got who is it? It's somebody I was looking at. Oh, bam! One early game today, Florida and UConn. Florida and UConn playing each other. Now, most of UConn from the women's side, except for the past couple of years, right? When they actually had a crazy run, basically won back-to-back national titles with basically almost two different teams. So shout out to Coach Shirley there, but and they're not as good this year. And they took the tumble, just like a lot of these schools are, between people graduating and transfers and things of that nature. Then teams around them got better. But you got a matchup today with number 1 Florida going against number 8 UConn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure folks will watch it, but how many of y'all really know before you picked up your remote this morning and that's the matchup?
Right.
Scanning the channels like, okay, Florida and UConn playing this, it's nothing else that really moves you. Upset could really go down. I mean, you've got some good matchups. I mean, I have watched Oregon and Arizona a little bit this year. I know Caesar will be tuned in. You got a 4 or 5 matchup later today between Oregon and Arizona, which could be interesting. we don't think that the Duke and Baylor thing is going to be interesting. It shouldn't be, but you never know. But the fire is just not there, man. You can't get hyped for Calipari and Patino, whether it's second round or whether it's Elite Eight. You know, something's wrong with the game.
Right. I feel you on that.
You know, so. But the four number one seeds are all still there. You got Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida are all still in it. So I'm sure we're about to get into some realness here, maybe today, but definitely after today.
Yeah.
But I do want to shout out Calipari, though. I will say this. I'll shout him out, though, is that to have his team in the position he's in now, for those who haven't paid attention, and I barely paid attention, I do remember them starting off, I think, 0-5 in conference play. All right, they started out 0-5 in conference play, and here they are knocking off a 2 seed and marching on. So, you know, that's some of the love of what March Madness is about.
That's what it's about, exactly.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Yeah. Over on the women's side, though, then you know, we've seen some blowouts. We've seen some, you know, some 50-point beat downs and. You know, and things like that, but it's still exciting. You know, we've had to hold our breath a little bit because we've seen some of the key players go down on the court and get hurt. You know, you were the first one to put out there what happened with Olivia Miles the other day. Fortunately, it looks like she's okay. Looks like she's gonna be all right. Juju not only hurt their hand yesterday, she always had a hit the floor too yesterday.
Her hand, ankle. I was like, what is happening?
Don't do this to us, man. Don't do this to us. But looks like everything is all good, man. But for the most part, even with the 40 and 50 point blowouts, man, you enjoying the women?
Absolutely. I shoot from top to bottom. I enjoy watching SC. The first half was, it was fun to watch them. It was fun to watch them from start to finish.
Yeah.
Malaysia for a while, it was out there getting loose. It was crazy though to watch. You know, it was the end of the game and Tessa Johnson was still on the court. But somebody got to be out there, I guess, and everybody good. So it was just interesting to see. I'm like, man, Tessa out this joint, damn, she need to be sitting down somewhere. But it was a bunch of good games. Like I mentioned, this whole last year of Ivy League, you know, my daughter being at Cornell, got me because I ended up taking Harvard women and Columbia women, and they both lost. That was just my own being a sucker for the moment, so I deserve those losses. But it's been fun. It's been enjoyable, good competition, and everybody hooping. Shout out to my man, Dr. Michael Torrance. He went to South Carolina. He went to South Dakota State.
Right.
The Jackrabbits. And we saw the Jackrabbits women get their upset as the 14th seed yesterday. So I was like, dang. Because nobody, I mean, who talks about the Jackrabbits?
Exactly.
The only thing I knew about them was Mike went there. And then here they are on the big stage getting that big upset.
Yeah, man, that was big. That was definitely big. You mentioned South Carolina and Don Staley and them, and they out here trying to make a statement. Of course, people out here blowing up as they always do. Her comments about them not getting their number one seed. All of a sudden, she's being selfish. I'm like, it just takes one little trigger word, you know, and they go on.
Like Lindsay Gottlieb won't say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But we got to focus on Dawn. They out here handling business, taking things personal. They, in their first game. Also, it's crazy as you think about them is we talked about the comments teams have made about them sitting down a bunch of high school, former high school All-Americans and bringing in a whole nother 5 off the bench, right? Mm-hmm. But when the All-American teams came out this year, none of them were on it. You know what I'm saying? You got, Hidalgo and Paige Beckers and Madison Booker and Lauren Betts and Juju and ran out the first. Like, it's just crazy how that works. Not that what they were saying wasn't true, but it's just crazy for them to be as just as dominant as they are now, and none of her players making these All-American teams. So,
yep.
I thought that was great, man. I thought that was great. So they out here on a mission, man. And then if you look at today, hell, I had somebody ask me the other day, and I don't remember if it was in the group or was it on my Twitter page. I think it was in the group. But anyway, somebody had noticed, and somebody that they won't normally talk to as much, but I was warm my heart. They were watching the women's game, and when they said they were noticing that some of the women's team wasn't fair that they got to play at home. And I said that's just how that operates. Like women operate a little different,
right?
You know, with the first 4 seeds, and then there's some instances where you can get a second seed depending on where they are. It's like TCU, who played later on today as well. Yeah, they get to play at home. There's some things, those instances are going to happen where teams are going to get to play at home until they really get into the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, and then everything shifts over to the 2 regions of Spokane, Washington, and Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
We'll see all the action go down. So I don't have a problem with it. Man.
Me either.
I used to love when my girls were really good. Like when Tennessee was really good, I used to love just the fact when we would get to play out in Tennessee, whether it was at a home or not. You know what I'm saying? Just the love and support coming from those people, man. So I don't have a problem with it.
You know, it's all right. So to me, I didn't read this anywhere. I'm just saying the reason why they're set up this way is because those fans at those number 1 spots are going to show up.
For sure.
Not everybody, and some fans will travel to those locations. Not all fans are going to travel to a central location for women's basketball. So now you have that, the way it's been, where people won't travel, haven't over the years, wouldn't travel. Now they're at their crib, and you're mad that they're at the crib, even though the problem isn't that they wanted to be at the crib, it's people don't travel. So you can't be mad at the second problem if you're not mad at the first problem, because the first problem created the second problem.
Indeed. People don't hear that, though. People, they want to side with the line that the best fits them, but
yeah,
that's a great point, man. That's a great point. You look at today, though, man. You've got a couple of interesting matchups that I'm going to be peeping at. You got Oregon and Duke. So Carol Lawson squad, they got busy towards the end of the season, so they come in a 2 seed. They're taking on the Oregon team, which I've watched several times this year. And some games can be completely dominant, and then other games will just fall off the side of the building. But got Deja Kelly over there. This is her last season. I'm kind of on the fence on what her WNBA career is going to look like. Because last year I had her probably definitely being one of the top 10 players off the board. Now I'm not quite so sure that's going to happen. And then how sticky it gets once you get past that. I didn't even say the first round. You just get
you at the end of that first
9 pick, kind of sticky.
You might be at the crib.
Yeah,
or overseas, I should say.
Yeah, so it's not a whole lot of success stories out there unless you can get a Nas or so far maybe a Kate Martin, but which looks like her future might be going down a good path, especially where she got drafted. That she might be going to the right situation. It's just might be a lot of stuff for her, so her stuff could pan out. But yeah, this could be a very interesting matchup. We got Notre Dame and Michigan, 2 of the better defensive teams in the country. I can't wait to watch that. You got a 5-4 matchup. You got Ole Miss and Baylor. And then one that you folks who claim you watch the game should at least have your eyes on. You got number 2 TCU taking on number 7 Louisville. And the significance, of course, is Haley Van Lith, who y'all wrote off. She ain't right back. Okay. She only went to TCU and led them to a 32-3 record. And then a 2 seed, the girl y'all say can't play. She's going back to play her former squad, Louisville. So her and Madison, Madison Connors and Donna Prince, we'll see what they do out there against Louisville, man.
That's gonna be fun.
Yep. So I think that's what time. I think it's later today.
Shout out to Jada Walker.
Jada Walker for sure.
She's from the 804. So
a couple other interesting things we got going on. We got for me anyway, not for anybody else. Got a tough matchup today for Tennessee. They're playing number 4 Ohio State. And I'm not feeling really good about that, especially as good as a defensive team as Ohio State is. And Don't let the scoring fool you. Tennessee can score, but they don't shoot well all the time. So that's if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
They play a lot of good defense. A lot of times that creates turnovers that leads to easy baskets, but they're not always the greatest shooting team. And there are some games where they'll put up a ton of threes, and it is beyond that day. Jules Spear and they be on. And in some games they couldn't hit the side of the building. They were standing in front of it, but the defense get over. So, I wouldn't expect it much from Tennessee this season. They've had a great year. I was just hoping that we can at least get to the Sweet 16. I call that success with the amount of transfers and a brand new coach. But we'll see what happens today in that one. I don't feel that good about it. An interesting, more close to home source, unfortunate, but the Richmond Spiders playing UCLA.
It got to happen, though. Hey, look, better to still be in it than to be at the crib. So,
yeah.
It's going to be ugly, though.
And probably other than the game we're going to get to, as we mentioned, as far as excitement anyway, the TCU and Louisville game. We do have an interesting one tomorrow, though. FSU and LSU. Going at it tomorrow. Nation's leading scorer, Tania Lasson over at FSU, gets busy. If you ain't seen her, you best tune in because she gets busy.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to have enough firepower. They got some other good players to take down LSU, but could be a very interesting game. I know that's on tomorrow night at 8:00. So,
and I love the fact that the ladies are off schedule of the men as far as the beginning of the tournament and then the end of the 32 round. So
yeah.
I don't want no excuses. Oh, they were on at the same time and all that. Nah, you can't say that tomorrow night.
Definitely can't say
tomorrow. That. Tomorrow, I should say.
I thought it'd be very interesting if LSU wouldn't have got Flage back. Well, Flage looked good last night.
Right.
But she's back. So, not to say that LSU still couldn't have won that game because nobody talks about Michaela, and I'm trying to tell y'all.
She been there since last year.
Yeah. It's a reason she was who she was coming out of high school. I thought it was interesting. It was something I found out something I didn't know last night watching them. They said that she actually, way before she ever had a basketball offer, she had several softball offers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They said I think she got her first softball offer from college. She was like 7th grade. And it was just like they were talking about how she could throw the base, throw a softball, how she can hit. And then also it made sense because I remember watching her once last year and then once this year when she hit a crazy pass to Flage. The vision was crazy. You remember how good Kevin Love was in college? Throwing the long passes. He carried over to the NBA too as early as, but when he was at UCLA, Kevin Love was one of the craziest inbound passes I've seen in my life. Like he'd be standing there, he could throw that thing the length of the court with accuracy. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Yeah, that's Michaela. Michaela can do that. When they let her cook, passing the ball. Now she's really a shooter. Great. So that's a name you know the name, but then next year you're gonna really know the name.
Oh, next year it's gonna get ugly.
I mean, it's open. If Flage, if she leaves, which a lot of people think she's gone,
right.
We know Anissa's gone. Anissa's probably a top 10 pick. So, and they got a crazy recruiting class. They got a couple of crazy people on that bench, but that's gonna be Michaela's squad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
and that's gonna be good for her.
Big dog, one of my faves in the league right now. Love her.
Yeah, so she's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff popping off in March Madness. Watch what you watch. Watch what you will. I'm gonna watch it all, but I'm leaning to the ladies.
Definitely.
I'm just leaning. So
go ladies.
I didn't even check though. How many people did we get? I know it wasn't as many. Did we even get to 10 people in the women's bracket?
Women is it was 18, but then two of them were blank. So it ended up being 16 in the women's, and then it was 41 in the men's, but two of them were blank. So dropped that to 39. I'm still counting these dollars though. There's some dollars missing, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Hey, Anybody in women's bracket put in more than one bracket? Because I know when I went in there, I think everybody had one sheet.
You.
I put in 3.
Yeah.
I put in 3.
I was like, you did.
I ain't doing the men, so I'm gonna put in 3.
Right. I don't think anybody else did more than one.
It don't matter. That means I put in more brackets than everybody else, meaning I won't win. So that's fine.
Hey, shout out to my daughter Kelsey, because she had a perfect joint through like 21, 22 games.
Word up.
And I was going crazy. Now she fell off, but it was perfect. It was perfect for a minute.
Yeah, I went 3 different. I almost at the 4th one. I said, shoot, man, I picked everybody. I might as well. I could always do a fun bracket, like something that's not likely to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought, you know what? I just put Tennessee to win it, knowing they ain't gonna win it. I'd be surprised if they get past Sweet 16.
Right.
And that's if we didn't even get to the Sweet 16. But obviously, but I just throw something fun. I told you, we talked about this last year, like for like the past 2 or 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going out there with your boy. I'm going to go on with Shaka Smart, man. I'm gonna put them dudes in at least. So if I do multiple brackets, I'm just gonna have them in the Final Four or the national championship game, at least one of them.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's real. That's dedication.
Shaka doing this thing out there. I mean, he keeping some good competitive squads. I mean,
definitely.
He don't mess nothing up. I mean, he got it good. He got a good home over there. I think he got cats coming out there to what they in Milwaukee, wherever they are. He got them coming out there. You know? Yeah, so shout out to Shaka Smart, man.
And getting that paper.
So he just didn't. I ain't get a chance to stick him nowhere, this year. But I mean,
Are we talking about Will Wade?
Well, we can talk about Will Wade. I almost brought up Will Wade earlier when you was talking about the mid majors, and I was like, huh? Outside of Will Wade, you saw my comments, which is it wasn't rocket science. Everybody thought it, but I think Bo Jones commented on it too.
Oh,
so one thing you can bet, every 2 to 3 years, VCU gonna be looking for a coach.
Absolutely, and it's wild because the fans. I'm in a VCU group. Basketball group, and it's wild. Like, the people don't understand. It's like not understanding who you are. How do you not understand? Like, even if you go back to whomever, you can go back to, I don't know, Sonny Smith, I don't know, J.D. Barnett, I don't know, Anthony Grant, Jeff Cable, whoever you want to name. But then Shaka Smart made it obvious. The people get mad because the coaches leave VCU after they do well to get money and just coach a bigger, on a higher level. But it's like, I don't want to talk about people's appearance, but it's like, like you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm a 4. Like this, I'm a 4, but I'm a 10. The world should see me as a 10. The world should see me as, I don't like that. I don't like it, that example, but you know what I'm saying.
For sure.
You're expecting too much. You're expecting people to stay here for a limited amount of money and just be satisfied with it, when they can have bigger dreams and aspirations, especially when they're young. Shaka was in the running for NBA jobs, and these people are like, why would you leave VCU? What are you talking? What?
Why did you Anthony Grant? He going all the way to back. Okay, did you see that check?
Exactly. And you can't match it, so you gotta,
Hey, can you see? I know it's a running joke on all these social media platforms that say, you were raised by your grandmother or whatever, and when you hear this come on or something, or this was on your TV, and they'll show something like Bob Barker, The Price is Right, or a show that I've seen. I lied to you not. It's not exaggeration. I guarantee you, I've seen every episode a minimum of 20 times, and I still watch it in the heat of the night.
Right? Yeah, you love that show.
Yeah, but in the heat of the night, Lisa Marie Johnson's character, Mrs. Tibbs, didn't want to move to Sparta, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 countries. It's middle of the machine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Tibbs, he grew up in Sparta, Mississippi. So he was coming home to take a big job or whatever. The pay was great, all of that. That's probably how it was with some of these coaches. You imagine the Grant, baby, I don't want to move. I don't want to move to back. I'm a city girl. Listen, that, babe, do you understand that we're gonna be making well over $1 million a year? $1 million. Oh, baby. Have you seen my luggage? Have you seen my luggage? You know what I'm saying? People don't understand when you getting that check. That can change a lot of things. I can learn to like a place where I gotta watch the alligators when I go to my car. You know what I'm saying? I can learn
8 to 10 times more money than they were making previously, and an opportunity that they might not get again. You never know.
Yeah. You never want to look back. You never want to look back and say, I could have done it, I should have done it. I look at it like this. If you smart with your money, people all the time. So he went somewhere and it didn't work out. He got fired after 3 years. I know he's mad, disappointed. He hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That bank account fat though.
Sure
he doing the fools with his money. It's like when he coaches NFL coaches, like some of them get fired and the whole 9 yards. We sit there think about he got fired, bro. He last 2 seasons. Well, as long as he do nothing stupid with his money, I understand it's not, he won't be coaching no more. Is that defiant desire? He gonna cry when he get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But he gonna cry with fat pockets, in the words of
Right.
Showbiz and AG. Like my pockets fat, not flat.
Facts.
So it is what it is, man. But shout out to him. Coach Wade, I know a lot of people say he's scum and they don't like him, and you got your reasons, right? But come on, the man going up the street. Crazy thing is with him, he managed to get the bag and didn't have to go too far. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he lived. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
now.
I think about Coach Odom, but still, them are Coach Odom too. They talking about Coach Odom.
Coach Odom, he going
after Coach Odom too. I can't get that, but still.
Say 50 minutes. Let me ride up 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Go and get this money.
Yeah, so.
And it's in the ACC. What can you say?
Yeah.
But
because people talking stuff about him too. Yeah.
Will Wade been, whatever you think Will Wade is, he been that. That ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing new. But the fact that he took the job, they publicized the job before they was out the tournament. It felt kind of crazy. I mean, it was.
It did. No, it did. And
but it was very Will Wade though. I mean, that's a Will Wade exit. That makes sense.
I know you're gonna be like, Prime, you can't be serious. It is weird, but if he's staying true to himself, whether I like it or not, I gotta respect it. You just being you. That's what you do. But
I ain't mad at him taking the job.
The funny thing is, though, I don't know how true this is, though, Source. I don't know how true this is, but they're claiming now there's people coming out saying that they were actually people were aware. There were some people that were aware that there was a chance that he was going to be out of it. Now we might hear something next week. Some former players might come back and said he was scum and they couldn't believe. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I read. Did he take? Is he one taking the mascot with him?
Yeah.
I mean, not the mascot, the trainer, whatever.
The manager. I was about to ask you, is that real?
Man, it's being reported. The sites that are reporting are the ones we tend to get good information from. I'm gonna say that.
Bro got NIL deals. First time? Bro got NIL deals. That's crazy.
I knew of an instance whereas who was it? It's not even that because it ended up being a story. It started somewhere. I don't know if the person had gotten sick. I don't know what happened, but I do remember an instance about a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, there was a story, and then it was another state where there was a high school coach that left high school, got an assistant's job as in college. He was an assistant for 1 year. And something happened with the coach. He ended up getting the head coaching job after 1 year, and he went back and he got the former manager from the high school and put him on staff.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember if it had something to do with something with the kid, or they ended up because the kids had a hard time with parents. Somebody got sick. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I gotta have to look it up now. But I thought it ended up being a great story. And he brought him with him, and he now looked out for him. I think the man getting whatever he did to him, and he get more money than he never made. So they made him a manager / assistant or something. I gotta look that up now. That just came to mind when I thought about it.
Go get the money. Go get the money.
Yeah, man. So some great stuff, man. So Oregon and Duke tied at 7. So we shall see over on the women's side. Let's get into some of this. Let's get into some of this NFL free agency, though. I know you and I want to talk about it when it went down, but we just never got on. I was going to go on last week anyway, and then something else came up on my end, and I said I'm gonna do it later. Then next thing you know, I'm glued to the TV.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, well, I'll do it when all these games go off. And then I got to watching, I don't know, Animation Domination or something. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. So it never happened. Let's just say that. But yeah, some things popped off in the NFL since you and I last talked here on this show, man. I'm over in NFL free agency. So I think we can run through a few. And let me see what your thoughts are on these, and I'll give you some of mine. Too bad your cousin was not in here, because we're going to start off, of course, with the San Francisco 49ers. To me, that has been probably the biggest news as far as teams. I mean, there's other couple of teams we can put in that we're going to talk about. But the San Francisco 49ers, you're talking about cleaning house, bro. Like cleaning house. Like when you're trying to figure out what their direction is. We're talking about a team that back in 22 went 13-4, the next season 12-5. And then last year they fell to 6-11. And we knew there would be some changes, but these people that went all out, bro. You saw what they did. So we had Debo, who was demanding a trade anyway. Debo is out in Washington,
Right.
which I think, much as I hate to say it, for them, the way they run that offense, I think is actually a good thing. I don't think Debo is the dude people say he is, but in the right situation, it can be a problem, and that could end up being a problem for some people. Definitely for us, definitely for me. You go back, they cut Leonard Floyd, they cut Hargrave, they cut Malik Collins off their defensive line. Then you had free agents, Dre Greenlaw, which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping that he could end up with a star on his helmet. That didn't happen. He's elsewhere. Javarius Ward, Hufanga, and at least 3 or 4 other players. Like these people going in a totally different direction, bro.
Right.
What you think about what the Niners did?
I guess it was bound to happen sooner or later. Money wise, I guess. And so they had so many, injuries, especially last year. They had so many injuries, and things just didn't go the way they expected. It could just be the fact that we've been dominant. We've been pretty dominant for a minute, and the record plus the injuries might be the beginning of the end of this, amalgamation. So they might be on some let's get out beforehand. Let's get out too early rather than too late on some business, stocks. Get out too early rather than get out too late type vibe. So it could be that. And as a fan, you probably like, especially when you don't have a Super Bowl to show for it.
Right.
You're probably more like, oh man, we threw in the towel too early. But it made a run. They made multiple runs. They were there. They were in the mix for multiple years straight, and a couple of Super Bowl appearances. So it just didn't work out. It happens to the best of them. Trust me, I know it happens to the best of them.
Yeah, they're in an interesting situation because as far as letting players go, they really haven't signed anybody. Unless I'm missing something, I think the biggest signing has been DeMarcus Robinson and wide receiver, right? And it's an interesting group. Now, I will admit this. It's an interesting group because if you look at them now, you bring DeMarcus Robinson in, which we've seen what he is as a third receiver. I mean, I'd really love DeMarcus Robinson as a third receiver. He had some good times with Matt Stafford for sure. He gave him, I believe it was like a 2-year deal. But you look at it, Ayuk still there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember all the trade talk initially, and he wanted the money, and then they tried to appease him. And
Which is crazy. It's crazy. He's still there.
yep, Jawan Jennings, which we saw for 2 or 3 weeks during the season, when getting a chance, you're given a chance.
He can be that.
Guy can ball out, and you still got your young guy Ricky Pearsall, who will be going into what this will be his second season. He'll be able to start the season this year. From week one. Mm-hmm. So a very interesting group for a squad, as you were talking about. They may need to clear some money, but also at the time they still got to figure out what they're going to do with, as far as money wise with their quarterback. What does he fit? What does Purdy fit in?
I think they're going to throw the bag. They're going to throw the bag.
You would think. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's not worth it, and we're going to see a real, what he's really about now without one of his weapons. I'm still not as convinced as far as one of his weapons. If that was really all that he was about, because I'm not on the Debo train as far as what people make him out as a receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, the Debo as a weapon, you use him right is a different story. Mm-hmm. But these other pieces that they've lost, how does that affect the team as a whole, and what's going to happen with them? Are they still, do they end up not being as good as the teams we've seen reach the conference championships and the Super Bowl, but still have a productive offense? Right. And maybe a lot of the hit, because you think about it, so most of their major stuff has been defensively. Yeah. People they lost, the Hargraves, the Malik Collins, the Greenlaws, mm-hmm. The Wards. That's defense.
True. Which
was just as much as a staple for them in their successful times as the offense was.
True that is.
I think he's going to get paid. I think, what does he fall as far as how much they're going to be giving him per year? Where does he fall? What bracket does he fall in as far as the money? So, Niners are very interesting going into this next season. The next team, of course, it's got to be your Eagles, man. Philadelphia Eagles, very interesting Super Bowl champs. Lost some players, though. I think you and I were talking, and I know there was a couple of guys you wanted to keep. And I thought Milton Williams was just as important as just about all those guys, I thought. He's gone. Josh Sweat, who played like a Super Bowl MVP, that Super Bowl performance alone earned him a few more $1 million. Because you think somebody who's been in the league as long as Josh Sweat was still a very productive player. Mm-hmm. You talking about getting on the biggest stage and showing out. He showed out. I told you can make an argument that he could have been Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he could have been an argument. Right. He got busy in that. He's up out of there. Your boy C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay. Where did Darius go? Pittsburgh, right? He's a Steeler. I could see him in Pittsburgh uniform. And then I know one that you don't care about. I guess y'all got rid of him. Your boy Bad Bird.
Oh. Thought you talking about Kenny.
Oh, I forgot about Kenny. So,
Gainwell.
So, quite a bit, man. Quite a bit. Your offense is still intact, though. But your defense been just as good. How you feel about everything overall, about what y'all did and what y'all had to do?
All right. So I was at Shamrock the Block last week, mm-hmm. And of course I had on Eagles gear, and every 5 feet, go Birds, because there's Eagles fans everywhere, But at this one point, I was standing, and this guy started talking to me, and then this other guy came over, and the other guy was like, "Yeah, man, that he didn't say daggone, but that daggone Howie, man, he giving away all our players." I'm like, "Sir, what are you talking about? Like, Howie helped create this thing, Howie helped create this run that the Eagles have been on." I know there was a time after the first Super Bowl where people was like, "Oh, Howie, he got to go, blah, blah, blah." And little did they know that man is the key, the glue. So Howie says it's time, and The Eagles just won a Super Bowl, like you mentioned, Josh Sweat, because he played well on the big stage. It increases his value. That increases his value to other teams as well, and that increases everybody's value. So these players can go out here and get more money, and they're going to have to get it somewhere else. But with these moves that the Eagles have made, like I keep hearing numbers of picks, and I'm like, dog, that can't be real. It's like 20 picks between the next 2 seasons, and 11 of them are in the first 2 rounds or something crazy like that. I was like, this can't be real. So now you got all these players that will be coming in on, rookie contracts. You spending your money on your big dogs, or being able to go get somebody if you want to go get somebody, and it's the same thing, the same stock thing. I guess if you look at it from that angle, you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck while they're the hottest, and you can't get any hotter than playing well in the Super Bowl. So
indeed,
let that happen.
Indeed,
it's unfortunate. Like I'm not happy about it, but it's part of this. It is what it is, really.
You got to keep your boy though. I remember you were adamant about keeping Zach Bond. So
yeah.
So I mean, it's not easy to replace 93 tackles, bro. So
exactly.
I saw that. As soon as I saw that, I know Source happy about this.
Out of nowhere, like what? I remember the beginning. I was like, "What is happening? Who is this guy? And why is he? Why is he making that? He is always around. Is that a stroke? Wait, did he get it? Why is he third down sack? Why? Oh, it was everywhere. He was everywhere, and it just kept increasing all season long. And he definitely earned his money.
Get paid, young player. Get paid, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then see, y'all brought in a quality vet, a guy that I was crazy about coming out of college, for sure. And he's had a career, jumped around for 2 or 3 teams. But you got a Dory Jackson. I think that's solid. I think that's solid. So I was always crazy about a Dory Jackson. So
yeah, and that's losing Slay and Rogers, but we three deep. We three deep. So at worst, and that's getting back. We're getting back two DBs as well off of injury. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
We talked about Demarcus Robinson's departure and ending up with the 49ers, man. Bigger news is actually Davante Adams, man. Davante Adams, with the moving of moving on of Cooper Kupp to the Rams, man. And I love this. You thinking about a Davante Adams opposite of Puka Nacua, they always list Puka as a tight end. But it's very rare you see him line up as a tight end. So I mean, but wide receiver, whatever you want to call them, whatever McVay want to do with them, that's what they do. But I think that's solid, man. I think that is beyond solid. If there's somebody that's super happy when this guy done it, he's definitely your boy Stafford, man. Like I really love this. For a team that went 10-7 last year in the division, won the division. So solid, man. So
and could have beat the Eagles.
One player away, really. One player away from possibly playing in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
So
that's a good addition. Yeah, because Davante can play against a double and beat the double, but he's not going to even be doubled at this point. So he's going to be out there just running free.
Man, Kyren Williams out the backfield.
Yeah.
Rams should be right back and shoot that young defense they got, especially them 2 FSU boys, man. McVay ought to be pretty happy, man.
Yeah, they're gonna be all right again.
They're gonna be all right. And then of course, they lost, Cooper Kupp, who found his way to Seattle. He said that he preferred to stay on the West Coast. The couple of teams that wanted him, there was even that talk, which I knew was never going to happen, that like Dallas was going to make a move. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. Y'all falling for that smoke screen. I'm seeing, oh yeah, man, that's okay. That's just not going to happen. One of y'all already told you that he would prefer to stay on the West Coast. But this is Jerry we talk. Jerry has to act like he's doing something.
Right. Fake it till you make it.
You can bring the man in for an interview, knowing there's gonna be numbers out there that you even not gonna try to get anyway. So I don't even know what folks was getting all hype about that for.
Right.
But he goes over to Seattle. Very interesting thing about Seattle is we talk about teams making big changes. They'd already moved on from DK Metcalf.
Yep.
They moved off from Tyler Lockett, who had been, I call him Mr. Seattle because when everybody else was going and coming, Tyler Lockett was still there.
Been like 10 years.
And was good for 6 or 7 huge catches during the season. You know what I'm saying? When they actually, I'm talking about big catches like the end of the game, you know. So they moved on from him. I'm hearing some smoke that the Patriots are very interested in Tyler Lockett. But as far as Seattle, man, they bring in Sam Darnold.
It moved on from
Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold's got a cut now. So it's a good move. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. He already showed you that we could be talking about him as one of the
that's a tough combo.
Yeah, it's a tough combo right there. So and Seattle moved on from Geno. So, Geno will be wearing silver and black.
Yeah, man. See, I'm going with Pete.
Crazy stuff popping off. So we'll see if Donald can somewhat duplicate the type of season he had last year. So I know a friend of mine was telling me, he was like, man, but you got to remember, you're not going to have Justin Jefferson. And I said, no, you're definitely not going to have Justin Jefferson. But let's be honest. A lot of the season last year, some of the season he didn't have Jefferson, and Jefferson wasn't always the guy.
Right.
You know, Addison, them guys was out there getting busy. Yeah, so, we'll see. We'll see. Sam he's getting paid now. Let's see what he's about.
Mm-hmm.
Their third receiver is kind of funny. You know their third receiver is right now,
though? No.
Valdez Scanlon.
In Seattle?
Yeah. He's there now. He's in Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah. So
if you need somebody to drop a pass, he's your guy.
And then of course Sam Darnold's old squad. We're still kind of waiting on the Vikings, sort of, because we were hearing about maybe they was in on, the Rodgers, they was in on this person, maybe not. Now we're going to peel back. Yeah, we might want to think about keeping Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones signs with the Colts. It's probably going to beat your boy out for the job at some point.
Yeah.
It's just a lot going on. Now we're hearing that supposedly, they going to sit and wait on McCarthy. I don't have any problem with that. But then we're hearing as of yesterday that they might not be totally closing the door on it as far as signing one of the couple of names that's still out there, or they're entertaining the idea of bringing in Ryan Tannehill.
What?
Yep, as a stopgap until they get McCarthy where he would to be. But this is interesting. I don't know if you even realize this either. Did you realize that Tannehill didn't even play last year?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it, but as you said his name, I was like, dang.
Like to me, I'm like, I don't know. I thought I always assumed that he was still just there, just sitting on the bench somewhere.
Yeah.
Tannehill didn't play.
He ain't play.
Oh, so very interesting, man. Very interesting. I tell you what I thought was funny, and I don't think it's funny, but it's just crazy when you think about it. Harrison Smith re-signed with the Vikings, safety, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you realize how many years he's been in the league?
8.
That's what I'm saying. Think about it. Because we got a white DB out there, a white safety, first of all, which is a corner is rare enough, you know what I'm saying? But just DB period.
Right.
To stay in the league that long. This man has been in the league and with the same team. With him getting this money, he becomes tied for the 4th longest tenure of a Minnesota Viking in history. This will be his 14th season.
He ain't even started for 14 years though. I mean,
but for the better part of at least with the last, sheesh, with 7 at least half of it he started though.
Definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
But the fact
that
he was just out there.
Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I hear you.
Yeah, he's been productive.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny when we think about DBs, 2 different positions, but well, Sehorn eventually slid back to try to play some safety and he was a corner. But we think about how long Sehorn had been in the league, you know, as a non-black DB.
Right.
Sehorn lasted 9 years with the Giants. And I think he played, what did he go after? There was maybe 1 year somewhere else. Was it the Rams? I forget. But anyway. Now we thinking about that's longevity. This man is about to enter his 14th season with the Minnesota Vikings. One team.
That's wild.
One team. Not one of those guys that came in and played a few years and he ended up being a journeyman and played for 2 or 3 more squads to get one team.
Yeah.
Harrison Smith about to enter year 14. 4th longest tenured Minnesota Viking.
Crazy.
Tied for the 4th, so in history. One team I do want to get to, and is team-wise, really only the other team that I really, really care about is maybe 3rd on the list or 2nd on the list as far as team moves would be Chicago Bears. And I know it seems like I'll be pushing the Chicago Bears agenda, but we got to see what Young Williams is going to do. But think about this. So now you got a coach. Ben Johnson stayed in the division. So so we expecting to see some changes there, but they did something major. We've been hollering about them getting that offensive line together, Source, forever.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out, gets Jonah Jackson from the Rams, Drew Darman, the center from the Falcons, is a vet, and then the biggest move that shocked a lot of people, Joe Thuney, the all-pro Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So they are really standing behind what they're trying to do over there and standing behind their young quarterback. I thought it was crazy, but it's good. I mean, and it's good. If you're gonna go out here with a brand new coach, offensive-minded coach, a quarterback that you put a lot of stock in, a high draft pick, that's how you do it. Now we're gonna see what Chicago Bears about.
Protect your asset. Protect your asset. That's what it is at this point.
And a quality vet addition too on the defense. They signed Grady Jarrett. So not that defense wasn't already impressive last year. They would turn you over if they couldn't do anything else. So got to give them some love.
Yeah.
Do you think about the Steelers adding DK?
That's nice. It's a nice addition. Can't be mad. I mean, somebody had to lead. Somebody got to lead over there.
So you get him and Pickens. So you get him and Pickens together. So remember, my cousin had jumped in and we were talking about the boy George Pickens and talking about him in the drops.
Right.
And a lot of people. And I said I felt that if he got his head together, I think he could be a number 1 receiver. Now he don't have to be a number 1 receiver. He can be a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
And as long as they solidify this quarterback thing, and they get a quarterback in there, then might be some happy days for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They should be feeling good, or he should be feeling good. Pickens should be feeling good about being a second, because between him, Juju, like it's a Steelers tradition for the second receiver to not be a number 1. But them thriving at number 2 though, thriving in that 2 spot, or for Juju 2, 3, whatever he was, different seasons. But Pickens gonna be all right. Pickens gonna be all right, as long as they can solidify the quarterback position, and DK is DK. Will he be out there with his new fiance? So I'm sure he's feeling real good and healthy. So I think it's gonna be nice.
Everybody getting married. Every time we see an athlete in there, everybody getting married. Right?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell.
It's like back in the day. There's his wife, there's his lovely wife and the kids. Now every time we see somebody get traded or sign a new contract, there he is with his fiance. So it's so It's a strong movement going on out there. You mentioned the quarterbacks, so we got to bring up these two because we that was the wrong visual there. We're gonna get to that here in a sec. But we're gonna bring up these two guys right here, right? One was the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. The other one met with the Pittsburgh Steelers the other day, and I saw something. It might have been a 5-6 hour meeting, and they left with positive talk. In your gut, which one of them gonna be there, or is either one of them gonna be there?
Russ. I'm going Russ. If Rodgers was gonna be there, come on, he'd be there. Well, he should be there. Like, he should have never got out the door if that's really what they was trying to do. Somebody flinching because he got out the door. So I'm going Russ. Neither, and then Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's funny that we're still sitting here because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think we would get to this point with everything that's going on that Russ would still be out there.
Right.
Now he's gonna be on a team because there's plenty of interest. We're hearing about the Giants, which were holding out some hope, evidently, for Aaron Rodgers, but we're not hearing any talks on it. And then there's Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland seemed to be very interested in Russ.
As they should be.
Yeah, seems to be very, very interested in Russell Wilson. I don't know if I like Russ going over there.
I don't like him going there either, but they should be interested though.
I think he's not going to, if he's going to be out of Pittsburgh, he's obviously not going to go to a contender. But you would think maybe the Giants. Because I know, look, we were sitting there laughing about it, somebody writing a check and the wife asking, "Oh, where's my luggage?" I mean, he didn't. Poor Sierra is going everywhere, bro. She going from Seattle, you know what I'm saying? She got to go all the way to Denver. You know what I'm saying? Them crazy people in there in the altitude, and then you got to go to Pittsburgh. It's cold as a mug. Not that it wouldn't be cold in New York, but I mean, get back to that city life a little bit. I mean, but
right.
But hey, I know people are trying to sell it. Oh, she's a star. Look what I do for her career. I mean, she don't need no help. She's fine what she's doing, but I'm sure her agent and associates wouldn't mind having a little close when they conducted some things, but she ain't got to necessarily jump on the plane. But we're at this point of these are the two guys that we're watching right now to find out where they're going to be. I don't care number 8. I don't care where he's gonna be for real.
It don't make no difference.
He can be on the couch as far as I care.
That's your guy.
Yeah, I want better for Russ though. So here we are with these guys here. What we got? Last thing. What is who are these three guys up here, Source?
Who are they?
Yep.
Steve Smith, Dez Bryant, and OBJ.
All right. What they all got in common? Other than the fact that they wide receivers.
Go. They're all juniors. I don't know if Dez Bryant is a junior. I'm just throwing it out
there. Is Dez a junior?
I just made it up. Just let it,
And Steve a senior, eh?
He's a senior. He has a junior. OBJ is a junior, and Dez has a junior. Let's go with that. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what do they have in common. They all have beef with the same cornerback. I don't know.
They probably do. This is the significance right here. I made this graphic. Towards the end of their careers, they all ended up with the Ravens. Yep. So I threw this together, and I put this together because even though D-Hop is already on the decline in his career a little bit, he just signed with the Ravens. right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and we don't know what we saw from D Hop last year, having the fact that with just the fact that he's on a decline in his career, or also the fact that the way Kansas City uses their players. I don't know, but I just thought it's interesting. It's like it's Baltimore has become a haven for wide receivers towards the end of their careers. Even though Steve Smith, especially, he actually had some pretty decent moments in that uniform.
I was going to say, Steve Smith got busy though.
Mm-hmm. And Dez got in the end zone a couple of times. He got hurt again, but not that they went there and went terrible. It's just interesting to me. Names that we're used to, big names in the game, and they always end up with the Ravens towards the end of their career.
Right.
And I could throw another one out there. You go back, even though he played for several squads, but
Anquan Boldin.
Anquan Boldin, yep. So I was going to say Anquan Boldin. Yep. So D Hop, as one of them predicted, he's over there with Lamar and the boys. So him, Lamar, King Henry. I thought that was a very interesting signing, but I like him there though.
That could be very fun if he can just be a fraction of himself.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm proud of myself. Remember, you was a little kid, and
that's nice.
Your mama tell you they proud of you, and you get a little smile or whatever. That's how I feel right now. That just popped in my head, so I threw the graphic together real quick. I said,
"That's well done,
Baltimore."
That's well done. If you need graphic work, you know who to hit up. Well, if I need graphic,
don't hit me up because I don't know what I'm doing. I can do some basic stuff. I can put little collages and stuff together. Y'all probably when it comes to YouTube covers and all that, it's thousands people better than I am. But I can make it do what it do to make it work for me.
Right.
I can collage it and then fade out a few backgrounds and all that. So
you fancy, huh? Are you fancy, huh?
All right. And that's pretty much it, man. I don't really have anything else. NFL wise, no need to talk about the Cowboys because Jerry ain't done nothing. Sounds a bunch of people to 1-year deals. Only props I'm gonna give Jerry is two things. They did get Odighizuwa, which was a must re-sign. I didn't never think that was gonna happen. I said he's gonna be gone. We're gonna lose him on top of everything else. And of course they did let Lawrence, Tank Lawrence get away. So him and Michael Parsons beefing. But the comments that DeMarcus Lawrence made, and they were correct about him he wasn't gonna win anything in Dallas anyway.
Right.
He ain't gonna win nothing in Seattle either. So, so he was right, but let's just make sure we put some context in this. So I wasn't gonna win over. He ain't gonna win no Super Bowl in Seattle either. But I hate to see him go. And Jerry did sign back Kavontae Turpin. I think that was a must. Last year was the best return man in the game, so they can only develop him as a wide receiver. Even more, that would be even more awesome. All right, so, but that's it for the NFL free agency, man. Unless there's something else you wanted to touch on to this last.
That's it.
Right. Well, last thing I got, man, March 21st, a couple of days ago, two of the staples, two legends in the game of hip hop celebrated. I had no idea. And maybe I did know it and didn't think about it until I saw it again, because I'm always giving people birthday shout out. I know I gave Premier a shout out the last few years on social media. I thought about that both him and Large Professor shared the same birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Two of my guys, two of my favorites for a lot of reasons, same reasons, different reasons, but guys who's really loved and heavily respected in the hip hop game, bro. And did you do a set in a sets with any of these guys this week?
No, I was thinking about doing one, but I didn't even realize. But first of all, I do a Guru. Well, I really do a Gangstar joint like April 19th, I believe it is normally. So I'm definitely gonna do that. I figure that's next month. But I'm not even sure I realized it was both of their birthdays until. I don't think I saw you say it. I think I saw somebody else mention. Oh no, I saw Primo actually post about himself.
Right.
It was his 59th birthday. 59, man, that's something when you think about it. I
Nigga
don't know
probably
how.
been producing joints since the 80s, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And so has
yeah,
Large Professor. I don't even know how old Large Professor is though. Probably more
fif-
like 56.
well, I think maybe 54, 55, something like that.
Okay, that sounds much better. That sounds much better. I was thinking because he was young. He was young when he was doing stuff early on. The Eric B. and Rakim and Coogee Rap and Polo stuff that people didn't know. Um, so yeah. That sounds fair.
Yeah, it says, well, it says here he's 50. If he says here he's 53.
53. Only
Mhm.
50. That's young.
Oh,
Young.
no, that would be right because he was born in 72. So, yep, he's 53.
Wow. Wow. That's all right.
Watch Roger do his thing.
I definitely I gotta get with Large Pro. I tried. He was here last year, last
Uh huh.
June, and I was
Right.
supposed to catch up with him. Now I don't know him, but I was supposed to catch up with him, possibly. Noah O. Shout out to Noah O. Who did the event. He was gonna link me up with Large Pro, but he had a 4-day event going on. I'm sure he forgot about it, and I didn't follow up on it. So we'll get to him. I'll find him one way or the other though.
Yeah. So, shout out to all the DJs. I will say, on Twitter and on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Twitch, ran across quite a few DJs this past week that were going heavy for both of them, especially Premier, but were going heavy.
Really?
Jazzy Jeff went heavy. Jazzy Jeff went heavy one day this past week, and the only person that I remember him, I mean, he did like everybody else does. He did a big set, on back on the March 9th, and he definitely goes hard for Dilla, just like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of DJs do. But he went mad crazy for both of these guys, especially Premier, and just rocking out for hours, man. There's a lot of DJs I ran across. I don't follow everybody. I'm just scrolling through,
Right.
and I was seeing a lot of Premier sets out there, and it's made you think about what are your favorite joints, like, or it's like I think I text you and say, man, like we can probably talk about your top three,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to thinking about all the songs, especially with Premier, and be like, man, you asked me to do my top three.
Right.
How
How
I'm
am I
gonna
gonna
do
do
that?
three? How am I gonna do three?
How I'm gonna do three? And if you're gonna make me do three, I got one that I know for sure. Other two, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then he kept thinking, then two of them could come out and something else could go in.
Yeah.
Or you
That's it.
forget that on the front that, especially with Premier, that he got some joints that ain't even hip hop. He got some R&B. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So that was just to put you on the spot for three
Right.
initially. What as far as Premier, what would be your three
And
before you would change your mind?
and the question was my three favorite beats or songs. I can't remember.
You can it can be either. And that's a good question because I found myself, especially with Premier, probably my favorite. Well, there's a song with Premier that he did that I probably listened to more than at least two of the songs that's on my favorite beats list. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my favorite, if the song that I'm talking about is not in my three,
Okay.
right? But with Primo, I know.
So just my favorite is 92 Interlude. So I ain't gonna count that. I'm just saying. 92 Interlude off of Daily Operation is my joint. So much so that I made a song off that joint. I got my man Todd to loop that joint, and I made a song, me and this dude called Antagonists. Did a song called Nice with Miles back in like '02 maybe, something like that. Uh
It's
there's
tough.
no right answer and there's no wrong answer for The list is extensive. I'm gonna go Nas's like. I'm gonna go Nas's like first. But I could just go New York State of Mind, to be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess
That's too easy.
The Evils, Jay-Z, The Evils.
Ooh,
I love that joint. And Code of the Streets. I'm gonna go Code of the Streets.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. That came on yesterday. I was at work. It came, well, I had a you know when you run like a playlist, and then your playlist runs out, and then it just starts playing stuff related to the songs. I was running a playlist yesterday in my office, and it went through. I think the playlist probably had like, I was going hard, man. Probably had like 25 songs on it. Well, somebody had put together. But Code of the Streets wasn't on it. But I just happened to walk back in my office and that jump. I was like, oh my goodness, bro, how much I love that song.
Damn.
But man,
I'm not gonna. In my mind, I can't do it. I want to do a set down. I want to do a Primo set. I want to do a Primo set. Oh man, I did when I was doing bootleg verses. I did Dilla versus Primo. That joint was crazy.
Woo.
Oh man, now I want to do it. I don't know if I have time to do it or get a chance to do it.
Happen.
Now I want to do it.
Yeah, I think and you stayed obvious. If I went my three just off top, we're not thinking, then of course it's gonna be two Nas joints. It's two. New York State of Mind is too easy. That's just filthy, man. That's filthy right there, bro. Nas is like, and then I don't. The third one may be Living Proof. You know, that's just one of them joints. The second, if you listen to a mix and somebody just throw it on, it's just one of them joints. Like, oh my goodness, like you gonna bob your head. You gonna do something. You gonna beat the table. That joint is just, you know, the loop. Everything is just ill. You know, I think originally before I thought about that, I might have had like that Next Level remix on it. Yeah, I might have had that on there. The song I was thinking about, of course, not that the beat, the music ain't good, it ain't crazy, but I like the song, you know, enough to be in my top three. And of course, it's just the fun joint. It's Dwick. I mean, so that joint, you know what I'm saying? That whole production is just Dwick. Dwick is one of them songs that I'm just gonna get happy. Like I can be in like a jacked up mood. I hear that joint, I'm like, shit. Like,
yeah.
Lemonade, a proper drink in this. I mean, I got lemonade. I'm drinking lemonade today for real. I got a whole can of lemonade right now.
That's how songs and beats. You know, you can have different lists, definitely.
I would have loved to been in the room when he was putting together that joint for 10 Crack Commandments, though.
That's on my long list.
Yeah,
because I could have gone 10 Crack. Or Unbelievable is my favorite Biggie joint, or at least one of my favorite Biggie joints. And you got Kick in the Door. Like it's endless, yo.
Yeah, I was talking to the homie. Shout out to my man Jay, you know, former fellow MC when we was back in the high school days. He was a huge Rakim fan, but he said, "Man, you know how I get there. I gotta go with Come Clean." I said, "Oh, yeah, I feel you." Like he's a Come Clean, man. I this day.
I was about to say neither of us said Come Clean, and just thinking about the time frame. Like when that drum dropped, that drum was so different. Everybody was like every time it come on, everybody go crazy.
Yeah, I think that something I heard recently, it might have been with DJ B was spinning or whatever. I don't even think it was even during the premiere joint that he did. It was something else. But I always liked Out of Here, the KRS.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, he did so much of that album too.
Yes, he did. And my closet favorite, it's not even a closet favorite that people don't talk about, but him and Guru on the when he did the Fake MCs joint.
The one
Bodyguard, Fake MCs. Man.
Sucking the Bodyguard.
Man, that's my joint.
Yeah.
Some joints, man, we can say this about every producer. source, but it's certain songs you'll listen to, and I would have loved this to been in the studio when he was putting this together. Like I wanted to see him make this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And Premier's got some of the dopest joint. If you scan the internet, especially when he's talking about how he put together certain songs and he's sharing how he did it, and he like his ear is crazy.
Yeah, you know, he got the whole series. That's what's up on YouTube.
Yeah,
and that joint is fire, telling stories of how songs came together.
I'm like, you got that from the youngsters? That songs you heard? What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And one I mentioned that neither of us would probably mention, but the joint is fire. But because it has Fred Durst on it, you know, you're not necessarily jumping to that joint. But In Together Now is crazy.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I ain't gonna lie, that's my joint.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't too Fred Durst all right with me. I mean, yeah, for sure.
So
what about Large Professor, man? Extra P. Now the thing with him is with, like I say, with Large Professor, he got a lot of joints that I'm crazy about. But for me to narrow my top three was way easier.
Oh,
because my top three are three songs that I listen to consistently. I don't mean I just randomly play them. I mean, like, the song's getting played every month for whether it's on a playlist or if I'm listening to the album that came off of. So now it's pretty easy.
Now, number one, I don't know if I put it on the list of my favorite beats. It's a perfect song though.
What's that?
Looking at the Front Door, it's a perfect
I didn't even put that on my joint, but yeah, definitely.
That's a perfect song. But I wouldn't put it on my favorite, like, Large Pro beats. I'd probably go. I Just Want to Chill.
In the comments in VCU, right? Woo.
I Just Want to Chill is it's probably one. Keep It Rolling, Tribe, Keep It Rolling. That's my joint. Just Hanging Out. I'm leaving out so many.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah.
Yeah, you jumped around one of mine. But
I'm sorry. One more.
What?
Common Resurrection Remix.
I forgot about that joint. Oh my goodness.
That's my joint. I
want to hear it. I'm gonna bump it when we get out. Now I want to hear it just because you said that.
It's hard to find. But yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Mine would be, of course, sticking with the Nas again. You think I'm a Nas fan? Yeah. It ain't hard to tell.
Yeah.
Let the Rhythm Hit Them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people even realize, P did that.
Yeah.
Let the Rhythm Hit Them, you know. Of course, I am a Rakim fan, but that's one of my favorite Rakim joints, though. And of course, you danced around this one with the two bangers that you gave, but it's a song that he co-produced with Sir Scratch and K Cut. That's A Friendly Game of Baseball. And like P, not only is to me, the beat is crazy, but he's spitting flames on that joint too. Like, you know, and like I said, so those three are easy for me because I listen to these three songs or albums or have compilations on my playlist every month, like monthly.
Right.
Some of them a couple times a week. Like I just do, you know. But that just A Friendly Game of Baseball is hard for me, bro.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And I love You're the Man, the Nas joint. You're the Man. That's my joint too. Think of the Locks.
Hey, I'm
joints.
surprised. I know it's one that I know that you probably love. So I'm not gonna say I'm not surprised it's not in. You didn't mention it easily in your top three because it's definitely not in my top three. But that's as smooth as a mug. Act Like You Know.
Act Like You Know.
Pete Rock and CL. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pete Rock CL joint. Yeah.
I think a lot of people till you were looking to think it's just a Pete Rock joint. No, he was in there.
Yeah. That's it was somebody else that when you think of them, you think of all the production being done by one person, then it'd be a random song. What is it? Is it? I don't know. I can't think of who it is. I had him on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of who it is though. But it's like all the production is normally done by one person. Then you have this one other person that did this one joint. You'd be like, they did that? Yeah. So that's one of them.
So they was playing. I listened to the radio station the other day. I think it was, I don't know, it was a 12 o'clock mix, whatever. They played "Faking the Funk." The beginning of that joint, as soon as that joint comes on, always hit, man. Always.
Yeah.
And one of the somebody was running some old joints the other day, and it was one of the DJs, and he always, sometimes he'll show videos in the background while he's playing. But anyway, I had forgotten that he did Streets of New York. Yeah. He had that point playing. I said he did do Streets of New York.
I had Talk Like Sex on my list, but I had, as an extra.
Yeah, homie was running some Cool G joints back to back, and he went from It's a Shame and then right into Streets of New York. And I was like, dang, I said, you know what?
The group I was thinking about is Tribe, but it's Keep It Rolling. That's what I was thinking about. That's what it was. That's actually what it was. With Large Pro producing that joint. Like, Large Pro did that joint?
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Man, so I just think it's just so dope. We got two of the greats, man, that has they actually share a birthday.
Right.
You can go out there and do things, man. So
kind of like is it 3000 and Jadakiss? I think it's 3000 and Jadakiss. Both of them are born.
It is somebody else that I know of, because it would always pop up every year. I didn't realize that they share the same birthday. I don't think it's I'm thinking about it. Somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out, man. Shout out to these legends in the game, man.
Absolutely.
Game wouldn't be the same without them. For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. So that's all I got, bro. You got anything you want to put out there for the people?
Yeah, tomorrow. I'm saying 5:30 because I'm not sure the start time, but it's Women's History Month. So tomorrow I'm doing an all women live on TikTok. It is I don't know if anybody else is gonna pull up, but it's at the very least we got DJ K Wild. She's gonna hop on and rock, and we've got a panel discussion with 3 hip hop content creators. Adri, who is my dog. She's one of the smartest young people when it comes to talking about hip hop.
She's dope, man. I love listening to her.
We got Elsie, not Elise. She is dope from Toronto. She talks hip hop and R&B, and she's been doing a lot of dope interviews over the last probably year and a half with different artists that everybody knows, And then Jada Not Pinkett Smith, who is the black girl, and you had the girl in the bathroom. She is the girl in the bathroom, the real girl in the bathroom. She does all the singing or lip syncing videos from her bathroom, basically. And she's dope. I've interviewed her a couple times, but she's cool. So, and she talks music. So, got them 3, and hopefully I have an artist or 2 pop up for a short interview, and then them maybe sing or freestyle, or if it's a producer, play a beat, something. But it's all women panel, all women live on tomorrow. Other than me, all women live, and I'm gonna say 5:30 to 9:30. I'm gonna call it 5:30 to 9:30.
Ooh, that's gonna be dope, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in and check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out myself. Pull you up on the tablet here when I'm watching the women's games here.
Yep.
That's gonna be dope, man. That's gonna be dope.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, and that's it, y'all. Y'all appreciate everybody that's checking us out, man. We will be back. I don't know if it's gonna be next week or not, but we're gonna be back soon. And be on the lookout, man. Be on the lookout, because not only are we keeping the sports train rolling, but pretty sure Source and I at some point or another gonna recap a movie. And I got some things I'm thinking about at some point about us. One of these, maybe just like we had the music discussion today on these two dope producers, man. You know, we're gonna have to come back and talk about something, whether it's recap an album, talk about something.
Yeah.
To look out there for the two of us, or maybe a guest appearance or two from someone else that wants to come through and kick it with us. So we're gonna see. We got all type of things popping off here in the SBP, as you see on the screen: sports, hip hop, television, and movies. We always say, you know, sports talk is our thing, but hip hop, television, and movies are always in play. You can always say they're always in the mix. That's how we get down. So appreciate y'all checking us out. Until next time, we up out of here.
Cheers.